Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Grady Tech, and in this video, I'll be unboxing the latest phone from Xiaomi, the Mi A3, and giving you a quick hands-on review. Now this phone is being sold exclusively online on Amazon.in and it comes in two variants. Base variant is priced at 13,000 rupees for 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage, and the next variant is priced at 16,000 rupees for 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. It's available in three colors, more than white, kinda grey, and not just blue. And we have the base variant in the blue color. So without any further delays, let's get on with the unboxing. So guys, here's the box. Entire packaging looks a bit different from the previous Mi A2. On the front we have a quick preview of how the phone looks, and at the bottom it says 48 megapixel AI triple camera. On the right side it says Mi A3, and on the left side once again it says the same. Just like Mi A1 and Mi A2, even this phone is part of Android One program. So this phone will definitely be one of the first few phones to receive Android Q update, and it will receive monthly security and software updates for the next 2 to 3 years. Now on the back we have some highlighting features like a 48 megapixel AI triple camera, in-screen fingerprint scanner, AMOLED display, and 32 megapixel front-facing camera. We have some more specifications, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Now let's get on with the unboxing. Now there are two seals, let me just open it up. So guys, once we open it up we have a cardboard box, and inside it we have a SIM card ejector, some documentation, and a transparent soft silicone case. Next we have the phone itself. Let me just put that aside. Next we have a 10 watts power adapter. By the way, this phone supports fast charging, but it comes with a 10 watts power adapter inside the box. Next we have the USB Type-C charging cable. So guys, these are all the contents of the box. Now let me just put all these stuff aside and come back to the phone. So guys, here's the phone, and on the front we have a sticker with the same highlighting features. Let me just remove that. Even on the back we have some warning information along with IMEI numbers. Let me just remove that as well. So guys, this is how the phone looks on the back, and this is how the phone looks on the front. Now let's have a quick physical overview. On the back this phone has a 3D curved Corning Gorilla Glass 5 for protection, and underneath it we have a dynamic holographic design which looks pretty cool. Like, this is the first time I'm looking at it designed like this. Now at the top we have the triple camera setup, which is once again protected by a Corning Gorilla Glass 5, which is a pretty rare thing to see. Following that we have a single LED flash, and it says 48 megapixel AI camera. At the bottom we have Xiaomi branding on the left side, and on the right side it says Android One. Now on the front we have the massive 6-inch AMOLED display protected by a 2.5D curved Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Above the display, inside the dot notch, we have the front facing camera, and above that we have the earpiece. Below the display it's completely plain, and it has a pretty big chin. Now for the sides, on the right side it has the power and volume buttons, seems to be made of metal. They have a nice clicky feel to them. At the top we have the IR blaster followed by 3.5mm audio jack and a secondary microphone for noise cancellation. On the left side we have the SIM card tray housing a nano SIM slot along with a hybrid SD card slot. So you can either use two nano SIMs or a nano SIM and an SD card, but not all at once. Finally at the bottom we have two speaker grills, one for the speaker and one for the microphone. And finally at the center it has a Type-C charging port. Now this phone has a thickness of 8.4mm and weighs 173 grams. In hand, phone doesn't feel all that thick and feels pretty lightweight. Now let's try to put on this case. So guys, this is how the phone looks with the case on. It has all the cutouts, and even with the case on, buttons are nice and clickable. You also have this small flap for the charging port, so it can cover the charging port, and that's it. Now this case can give you some additional grip and prevent smudges, but that's all. There is no raised lid for the camera module or for the display, so in terms of protection, it is completely useless. I would definitely recommend you to get a good case as soon as possible. Now these are the complete specifications of this phone. On the rear it is a triple camera setup with an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with 118-degree field of view with f2.2 aperture. Following that is a 48 megapixel camera with Sony IMX586 sensor and f1.79 aperture. Following that is a 2 megapixel camera used for taking portrait shots. On the front you get a 32 megapixel selfie camera with f2.0 aperture and 79-degree field of view. Now this phone has a 6.08-inch Super AMOLED display with HD Plus resolution with the new 19.5:9 aspect ratio. It's also protected by 2.5D curved Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Under the hood it sports a Snapdragon 665 processor with Adreno 610 GPU with 4GB of LPDDR4X RAM and 64GB of UFS 2.1 flash storage. Powering all this is a 4000 mAh battery which supports 18 watts fast charging. Now this phone has support for 4K video recording along with electronic image stabilization, comes with a 7th generation in-screen fingerprint scanner, supports Bluetooth 5.0, also has AI face unlock and infrared blaster, also comes with smart power amplifier, and the phone is splash proof. So guys, now let me turn on the phone and set it up and come back to you in a second. So guys, this is how the phone looks once we turn it on. This is your default launcher. On the left side we have Google's feed, and if you do a swipe up gesture from the bottom part like that, it takes us to the recent apps. These are your recent applications, and these are your quick suggestion applications which are based on artificial intelligence. Now if you swipe once again, it takes us to the app drawer. Now these are all the applications that come pre-installed. We also have FM radio on this phone, but MI remote seems to be missing. We can download it from the Play Store. Now let's check out this button. Now whenever you go to the home screen, there's just one button at the bottom. That's for home screen. Now you can swipe up on that button for recent apps. Now whenever you open any application, you get two buttons. Left one is for back and the center one is for home. For recent apps, as I've said, you can do a swipe up gesture, and these are your recent applications. Now back button is just like your regular back button. Now if you swipe this home button to the right side, you can check out all the recent applications and you can quickly switch between them. You can also do a swipe right gesture like that to switch with your previous application. I can do that again and again, and it easily switches between the previous application. So that's the new navigation bar. Now let's go to settings. So out of that 64 gigabytes of storage, we get about 49.5 gigabytes of space for our user apps and user data. And this phone is currently running stock Android based on Android 9, that's Android Pie, with July security patch. By the way guys, right out of the box, every time I press the home button, it vibrates, and haptic feedback is really bad on this phone. Anyway, now let's check out the camera interface. So this is the camera interface for the rear camera. It looks like any other Xiaomi phone, but over here we have a new toggle. By default it's in 1x zoom. It's also using the 48 megapixel primary camera, and if you click over here, it takes us to the wide angle camera. So this is the wide angle camera. Now if you click on the right side, it does a 2x zoom. Now this is a digital zoom, not an optical zoom, so you are going to lose details. Just like other Xiaomi phones, you can swipe left or right to switch between different modes. Now this phone also has AI mode for both the front and rear cameras. So this is the front camera, and it even has AI mode. And on the right side we have portrait mode, and on this phone we can also change the amount of background blur effect we want before taking a picture. So that's pretty cool. Next we have the dedicated night mode to take better pictures in low lighting conditions. Next we have panorama and pro mode. Now if we go to the left side, we have video recording. On this phone we can also record video in 4K resolution. Now let's check out video resolution. This phone supports 4K video recording at 30 fps, but I don't know why, but there's no 1080p at 60 fps. And this phone also has electronic image stabilization, so that's pretty cool. Now finally we have short video. Now let's check the front camera. Now this is the interface for the front camera. Looks pretty much similar to other Xiaomi phones. We have auto HDR as well, so that's good. Now in portrait mode, once again we can change the amount of background blur effect we want, even for portrait selfies, so that's pretty cool. Next we have panorama mode, which can help you take wide angle selfies like this. Just take a picture and turn your phone left and right to get a wider selfie. Now that's a pretty cool feature. Now these are some sample pictures. So guys, now let's test the fingerprint scanner. So here we go. Now the in-display fingerprint scanner on this phone is fast, better than most phones, but not as good as the current generation phones, say like Realme X, Redmi K20, Redmi K20 Pro, or even the OnePlus 7 Pro. It's probably the second or third best in terms of in-display fingerprint scanners. It's still usable, but I wish it was slightly more faster. Now let's test Face Unlock. I already set it up, so here we go. And once again, Face Unlock is fast, but it could have been faster. It's not as fast as say Oppo or Vivo phones, and I'll say it's usable. Now let me turn off the lights and see how it performs in low lighting conditions. Even in low lighting conditions, it is working pretty well. Once again, not as fast as Oppo and Vivo phones, but still pretty usable. So guys, now let's test the speaker loudness.
When you feel the world is over,
that's definitely loud.
when you say you're feeling lonely,
So guys, speaker on this phone is pretty loud. It's great for media consumption, ringtones and alarms. I was kinda surprised by how loud it is. It's not super loud but still louder than what I expected. So guys, now for some initial impressions. Phone kinda feels sleek. It's not super sleek, not super thick. It is somewhere in between, and phone doesn't feel all that heavy. Definitely not as heavy as 175 grams. Weight distribution seems to be pretty good. Fingerprint scanner is, as I said, it is fast and usable, but I wish it was slightly more faster. And haptic feedback is pretty horrible, and it makes this sound every time I press it, and it's really annoying. Speakers though are surprisingly loud enough. Now for a base price of 13,000 rupees, I'll say it's a pretty good phone, but it's still not the best. Like, you're not getting a full HD resolution display, and it's not great for gaming. Now the Super AMOLED display on this phone is really great, I love it, but it's just HD plus resolution. Now if you're someone who plays a lot of games, then you're gonna miss out on pixel resolution and overall performance. Now these are the Antutu and Geekbench scores. So guys, what do you think about this phone? Do you think it's a good alternative for phones like Redmi Note 7, Note 7 Pro, and even the Vivo Z1 Pro? Will you be willing to buy this phone under 15,000 rupees? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter, and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech signing off. Have a nice day.